Welcome. I bid you welcome. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner of the world. Welcome to another edition of Mortification Monday. This is the series where I talk about Australian thrash, death, grindcore, all kinds of different versions, metal, but also known as Jesus metal. I give you the band Mortification. Today, we talk about another album. This would be their third studio album, where this would also be released on Nuclear Blast Records as well as Intense Records. Nuclear Blast would kind of get it to other parts of the world. Um, I wish I had a copy of the Nuclear Blast version. Um, most of the copies that you will find are going to be this one. Okay. This is the Jason Sherlock version. This is the one they used for Intense Records. For some reason, they did and Nuclear Blast didn't like that version, and they went with something a little different. They went with this. Um, and I was reading about this, and they have no idea who drew this. Yeah, I don't think even Nuclear Blast even knows anymore. But anyway, very foretelling because this album came out in 1993. And if you look at this cover, you see these buildings kind of, like destroyed by bombs and different things like that. But if you also look right back here, that's the Statue of Liberty. So a little bit foretelling of what was to come. Sadly, unfortunately. Uh, but anyway, it was just as 9/11 was a bit of a wake-up call. This album, and it's as you listen to the lyrics and you listen to um what they're singing about in this album, this a lot of this album is a very much a wake-up call to the people of the world saying, okay, time to rid yourself of the pleasures and the things of this world and turn to Jesus Christ. That's, again, I'm going to stress this band is a very much evangelical Christian band, um, just done with extreme thrash style music. So before we get into this, I just have a couple of different covers. I actually came across a cassette copy of this, so I have a cassette version. There's this, which has actually four bonus tracks, and I'll get to those in just a second. This was actually my original, not my original, but I found this on eBay. This is the Intense Records CD pressing with the standalone album. And yes, that's Steve Rowe's signature. You got Michael Carlisle here in the center, and then Jason Sherlock up here at the top. So that was pretty cool. There's also a 2022 slipcover edition. Um, this has a bonus disc of a live set from 1994 at Cornerstone. So, and which is extremely good. One of the an amazing moment for the boys to be able to play at the Cornerstone Festival, which was a very well known Christian metal and hard rock, or just Christian music in general, uh, festival. I wish I could say I got to go to it, but I never did. But anyway, so enough of me blabbing on about, and I also should mention the way I found this with the back of this. Um, they There's an Intense Records or Intense Years box set, which is also extremely really good. It has all of the. I'll just kind of throw this out there real quick. Of course, it has the debut, uh, Scrolls of the Megaloth. Of course, uh, post Momentary Affliction, which I'm going to be talking about in just a moment, as soon as I can get my head together here. Um, a new cover for their next album, which I'll talk about next week, Live Planetarium. Um, Blood World, which I'll talk about in a couple of weeks. Primitive Rhythm Machine, and then they also add a this is a live 1996. So that was a bonus edition there. So well worth getting for all the little nooks and crannies as they say. So again, if you're kind of a collector and you want to get a lot of bonus tracks and a lot of different stuff like that, um, between Sound Mass and No Life Till Metal and folks like that, they have really done what they can to really make some extra versions of this available for folks. So really worth checking out. So anyway, let's get into this. Enough of me blabbing about everything else. There are um, there are a total of 14 tracks on this. So the first track is a song. It's basically just a spacey instrumental called "Illusions from the Valley of Shadows." Leads directly into "From the Valley of the Shadows," which is just an 8-minute banger riff groove rocker, written by Michael Carlisle, guitar player. Um, you get slow spots, you get these grinding spots, um, moshable parts, blast beats, uh, great transitional song. There's just so many good things about this song. This song really uh, basically talks about uh, you know the idea of what is truth and just the hills and the peaks and valleys that you experience in your life, and just how coming to Christ would just just is it opens up your mind to getting away from the things of this world. And it's a really powerful track. But again, musically, this thing is just an absolute banger. Um, this would then go on to a song called Human Condition. This is another just absolute thrasher. Again, just a song about how much the world needs Christ. Um, the human condition tends to make a mess of things. I'm a good example of that. Here again, you got a different mix of vocal sounds. You get a really brutal breakdown about halfway through the song. You got a lot of blast beats here again. Great track. Discharged Priest, which would become a popular song amongst the Mortification fans, something that Steve would play versions of in medleys um, over time. Um, let's see. Another, again, slow grind. Um, Basically a song about no matter how clean you might be, if you if you're going out into the world and you're trying to show Christ, but you're letting a lot of the world in, it's basically saying we just need to wash ourselves again and again and again. Great track, love it. Always been probably one of my favorite tracks by the band. The next up is again, you get some more spacey instrumental parts of a song called Black Line of the Mind, which then leads into Grind Planetarium, which is just another banger of a track. Uh, Here again, it's talking about the ripping of pride and sin from your life. Basically, what the term mortification is. It's the, you know, ripping of the denying yourself of the pleasures of the flesh kind of a deal. Jason is just an absolute Jason Sherlock, the drummer, is just an absolute beast on this album. And this song is no no slouch. Yeah, no question about it. Eventually this song goes into Pride Sanitarium, which is just a repeat of one of the slower themes of the song, which fades out. Next song is a 9-minute epic written by Michael Carlisle, which I should mention. On this 2020 this 2017 reissue, Overseer's not on it. They had to wind up putting it on this with Ancient Prophecy from Scrolls of the Megaloth because they couldn't fit that on the vinyl. And so they sold this as a separate 10-inch. It also includes Time Crusaders which was on a 1994 Australian metal compilation called Godspeed, but it's also on, they also do it on Live Planetarium. And there's also another song that was featured on a Nuclear Blast compilation called Butchered Mutilation, which is a song about Christ and his crucifixion. But anyway, back to Overseer. Again, a 9-minute epic here written by Michael Carlisle. Blast beats, thrashing about, just total goodness. Doesn't really feel like a 9-minute track again. Here again, this kind of takes you through creation and it really brings you to just the one's inner search for peace and God in their life. Um, Another epic track, love it. Which follows by another Michael Carlisle. This is another one of those really quick thrasher, mosh until you're happy and then you're out and then that's it. Song called This Momentary Affliction, which the lyrics basically just say crush this momentary pain. Now, when Steve would sing this live, it sounds like crush this momentary pain, and it sounds something like that. And he was like, almost could sound like Christ will return again kind of sound. So it's like gives us hope for the future, right? Absolute thrasher though. Impulsation. This is an updated version from the Break the Curse album. Again, this impulsiveness of life. I fall victim to it too. The instant gratification, it won't satisfy you long enough. But the song is speaking, come to God, come to Christ. That will be your satisfaction. Um, another wonderful update of this song. There's extra guitars thrown in here. Really sounded great. The proper album finishes with another kind of medley of sorts. You have liquid assets goes into vital fluids, which again, liquid assets kind of a nice watery, spacey kind of thing, which leads into vital fluids. Basically, a song's just inviting the listener, come, drink from the living water of Christ, and you will forever be, you will never thirst again, as Jesus would tell the lady at the well. Um, which then fades out to Sea of Forgetfulness, which is basically just imagine just standing on the shore of an ocean, but there's Christ walking on the water coming to you, and just opening up with open arms to just say, "Come on back." Great ending to the album, classic. Another album that again is very very much loved by the fans, by the band, and got a lot of critical and commercial notice. This and Scrolls of the Megaloth are usually albums that most fans will go to. It would be at the conclusion of this record that Jason Sherlock would be leaving the band to form to he would take part in a band called Paramecium. He would return though for the live Planetarium album, and I'll get more into that. But so this because Jason does not have a written track on this album. You notice that in the self-titled and Scrolls, there's a lot of, there's a mix of everybody's songwriting. Pretty much here, you heard me talk about the Michael Carlisle songs. Pretty much everything else is written by Steve Rowe. So from here out, it starts to become more Steve Rowe. Bloodward, you'll still have some stuff from Michael Carlisle, but for the most part now, this is pretty much Steve written material. So there you go. Post Momentary Affliction, classic Mortification album. What do you think about this one? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Share your thoughts about the band. Um, Looking forward to talking about Live Planetarium next week. And so, with that being said, like, share, subscribe. You know all those lingos. Let me know in the comments. We'll talk to you soon. Rock for everybody. We'll take care. Bye bye.